Right? Our country doesn't have an equity culture. Most Indians would rather make no returns for their entire life. कि आप भी मत कमाओ, मैं भी नहीं कमाता, एक साथ हम बर्बाद होंगे. Just 20 Indian companies make 80% of the nation's profits. The people who matter in India, every single one of them, neither will you know their name, nor even if they walked in, you wouldn't recognize. कितना खींच सकते हो दिमाग को खींचो, right? And find other people who are pushing their brains. Because most people in life don't like pushing, no.
We have with us one of the most celebrated investors in India. Saurabh completed his graduation from London School of Economics. He predicted a crash in the UK, sell off his company, came back to India, worked for another company, made it to the CEO's level very quickly, and then started in Marcellus in 2018, if I'm not wrong. And currently, it has the asset under management worth not to 10,000 crores. First thing that we are told while investing in stock markets, never ever invest borrowed money. But whatever money you invest, it's not yours, and you have certain obligations toward that money to your clients. So how do you hold your nerve when the markets are having a sinusoidal ride?
Part of it is we tell everybody who's willing to listen that if you don't have a 3-year horizon, आप equities में निवेश मत करो. So हमारे किताबों में वो बोलते हैं, हमारे टीवी शोज में वो बोलते हैं, हमारे वेबिनार्स में बोलते हैं, अगर 3 years का horizon नहीं है, don't put money in equities. But I think as you have guessed, a lot of people don't listen, right? So they get greedy. जब मार्केट ऊपर चढ़ती है, they come and give us money. And then जब हमारा फंड नीचे आता है, हमारे कॉर्पस नीचे आती है, तो रोने बैठते हैं. So अगर जब वो रोने बैठते हैं, we again tell them the same thing. That देखिए, if you can't hold your nerve, if investing in equities keeps you awake at night, then equities is not the asset class for you. आप जाके नोएडा, गुड़गांव, चंडीगढ़, मोहाली कहीं पे फ्लैट ले लीजिए. Right? Most Indians are happy to take a capital loss on a flat because उनकी mindset वैसी है. But they can't deal with the pressures of the stock market. So both at the time of getting clients and at the time of when the portfolio goes down, we're very clear with people. अगर टेंशन नहीं लिया जाता, 3 साल तक अपना नर्व होल्ड नहीं किया जाता, then equity investing is not for you. Most people stay, say around 10% of people bail out, and I think that's only appropriate. Right? Our country doesn't have an equity culture. Most Indians would rather make no returns for their entire life. Say returns of 5-6% inflation जितना return है, which is close to inflation जितना return, मतलब in real terms. You guys have learned real and nominal, no? So अगर 5% का return है, real terms में 0% return is, right? So if you go and ask your parents, their investments in land, in real estate, in gold, in fixed deposits would have actually got 0% real returns. Most Indians are very happy with that. कि आप भी मत कमाओ, मैं भी नहीं कमाता, एक साथ हम बर्बाद होंगे. Right? But what they can't deal with is, एक साल पोर्टफोलियो 50% ऊपर गई, अगले साल पोर्टफोलियो 20% नीचे आई. नेट यू स्टिल अप 30, बट वो नीचे आना 20 उनसे झेला नहीं जाता. So since none of us can do mass population level पे psychological therapy, our main way to deal with clients is emotional volatility is to say, अगर 3 साल तक अपना नर्व होल्ड नहीं कर सकते, if you can't stay away from touching this money for 3 years, आप equities में निवेश ना करें. And I've stayed in India now for 15 years. धीरे धीरे लोगों की साइकोलॉजी बदल रही है. ग्रेजुअली पीपल आर रियलाइजिंग इज फ्लैट्स और सोना खरीद के कोई फ़ायदा नहीं होता ज़िंदगी में, एफडी करके कोई ज़िंदगी में फ़ायदा नहीं होता. एंड दे रियलाइजिंग दैट जब मार्केट गिरती है 20%, तब खरीदना होता है, बेचना नहीं होता. बट व्हेन आई फर्स्ट केम टू इंडिया 2008, very few people thought like that. धीरे धीरे I'm seeing the changes happened, and partly through our books, partly through our TV appearances, partly through our webinars, we keep selling this message. If you want to earn, you have to learn to live with 15-20% downside. Not only do you have to learn to live with downside, जब गिरेगी तब पैसा लगाना है, तब भागना नहीं है. जब कोविड में मार्केट गिरी तब पैसा लगाना है.
How is your relationship with money evolved? How was it during your childhood?
तो चाइल्डहुड में तो कोई पैसे थे नहीं. Even when I was in your stage in life, कोई पैसे थे नहीं. So as you guys were taking me around the facilities, I remember that through my college days at LSE, I used to work through college. So मैं सुबह कॉलेज जाता था, शाम को मैं काम करने जाता था. So I used to have डेली बजट ऑफ £5। उस £5 में ट्रांसपोर्ट और अपना खर्चा, खाने का खर्चा कवर करना पड़ता था। प्लस लाइक यू गाइस हैव अ लाइब्रेरी, हमारी लाइब्रेरी होती थी, बट लाइब्रेरी में मोस्ट ऑफ द कोर्स टेक्स्ट, स्टूडेंट्स ज़्यादा थे, किताबें कम थी, सो यू हैव टू फोटो कॉपी द रेलेवेंट कोर्स टेक्स्ट, उसमें भी £1-2 निकल जाता था। सो आई यूज्ड टू हैव उस ज़माने में स्मार्टफोन्स नहीं थे, सो ऑन माई नोटबुक आई यूज्ड टू काउंट ट्रैवल में कितना खर्चा हुआ है, फोटो कॉपिंग में कितना खर्चा हुआ है, और कितने पैसे बचे खाने के लिए। सो पैसे बचते थे टिपिकली UK पाउंड्स में 90 पैसा, £1.10, which would get me a packet of chips and tomato ketchup. So that was the level of money with which I spent my university years. And then after university, obviously जब नौकरी मिल गई, बिजनेस चालू हो गया, पैसे आ गए, बट कोई खास पैसे के बारे में कोई सोचा नहीं है, कुछ खर्चा करने के लिए तो है नहीं, दिखता नहीं है। So whatever we save as a family, we invest. कुछ खास खरीदते नहीं है। So our car is 12 years old. Yesterday my wife forced me to throw away my old wallet. My old wallet was 10 years old, so it's a brand new wallet. I think this is the only purchase I've made this year. So I typically buy stuff when the previous item falls apart. So जैसे ये जूता पहना हूँ, बॉम्बे एयरपोर्ट में 6 महीने पहले I went through security. My old shoe completely fell apart. It was 7 years old. So वो जूता खत्म हो गया, सामने हर्ष पपीस की दुकान थी, तो नया जूता ले लिया। सो रिलेशनशिप वाली वेरी सिंपल, जिंदगी में खर्चे करने ही नहीं है, निवेश करो, donate to causes that you find inspiring, help your kids grow up, spend on your family, your parents, your बच्चास, but अपने लिए कुछ चीज़ खरीदने का लॉजिक नहीं है। So this phone is I think 5 साल पुराना iPhone 6 है। So the less you spend, the more time you have to read, the more time you have to make money, the more money you make, the more money you have to donate to causes that you believe will make a difference. So that's my relationship with it. बहुत simple है, खर्चा करना ही नहीं है।
Marcellus, which is a portfolio management service, is basically for HNIs. And most of your client you deal with are high net worth individuals. Have you seen a fundamental trait? Have you observed something different in all these people? And this is for the people who are in their early stages and want to inculcate certain habits.
So because PMS पे निवेश करने के लिए minimum 50 lakhs लगता है as per SEBI's rules, what we also did was we launched in November something called Merit or Q. So this is for people who only have 2 lakhs. So we built a quant team. We hired a quant team, people who studied in IITs and IIMs and then Goldman Sachs and worked in D. Shaw. So we built a quant team around a quant superstar. And then the quant team builds portfolios for people who can only invest 2 lakhs and upwards. So the portfolio management services is for people who can do 50 lakhs and upwards. And the quant team is for people who can invest 2 lakhs and upwards. And by doing that, we're trying to broaden the product to people who are not particularly rich, right? So say the gentleman who served me a cup of coffee at the airport, he'll be able to afford Merit or Q, right? Starting product है, बहुत low cost product है। आपका दूसरा सवाल फिर से जरा पूछिए। तो
Spend your time with HNIs, right?
हाँ जी।
What trait?
So इसमें क्या है, with successful people, so let's take an example. Let's take say Anil Rai Gupta of Havells, right? Since आप लोग, I think ये वाला building, ये side वाला building Havells, right? So if you see people like that, and he is actually representative of a certain kind of Indian, those people read plenty and insane clarity of thought होता है. So birds of a feather flock together. So सारे लल्लू शल्लू होते हैं, typical Indian high net worth, जो ज़्यादा सोचता नहीं है, पढ़ता नहीं है, दिमाग नहीं लगाता, वो अपने दोस्तों के साथ भिड़ता है, जहाँ पे दिमाग का इस्तेमाल कम, शोशा ज़्यादा, पार्टिंग ज़्यादा. एंड देन पीपल लाइक अनिल राय गुप्ता जी, राइट? और हमारी किताब जो 2016 की किताब है अनयूजुअल बिलियनर्स के सारे प्रमोटर, you put them in a room, they'll get along like a house on fire. Each of them reads non-stop. दिमाग चलता है चाकू की तरह. They can cut through decisions worth billions of dollars in 15 minutes flat, and they will love spending time with each other, right? So एक बहुत बड़ी trait है. Smart people read a lot, spend minimal time meeting riff-raff people, spend minimal time spending money socializing, partying, right? कोई IPL मैच नहीं, PS3 पार्टी नहीं, बॉलीवुड शॉलीवुड का डांस ड्रामा नहीं. घर में बैठ के या फैक्ट्री में बैठ के काम करो, दिमाग को ट्रेन करो, generate billions of dollars of wealth. And then, you know, I've met Anil Rai Gupta ji over many years. He never told me that he had done that, right? वो नहीं बोलेगा. He'll carry on doing good stuff. He'll carry on reading. He'll carry on building a great business worth trillions of dollars, and he'll carry on funding good stuff like that, right? And to be honest, when you meet people like that, उनको लगता है 30 seconds to figure out, say, what I just told you on how we invest. ठीक है? So जिनका mental processor बहुत sharp हो चुका होता है, say from your age till the age of 50, mental processor को बहुत sharp बना लेते हैं, उनको लगता है 2 मिनट समझने में कोई भी concept. आप वो AI का concept दो, physics का concept दो, economics का concept दो, 2 मिनट लगता है. And once their brain grasps the concept, the brain is able to very quickly take that concept and apply it in an unrelated area and make money from it. और 99% आबादी वो ये सब नहीं करती. 99% people you and I know, they barely read, no? Right? I'm pretty sure the kids you went to school with, उनमें से कितने 100 में से एक बच्चा हफ्ते में एक किताब पढ़ता होगा. Right? So वो 99% बच्चे they will be pushed back to the sidelines of life, जहाँ पे सारी जिंदगी they will struggle to understand abstract concepts and how to achieve outside success. So ये polarization जिंदगी का बहुत apparent हो जाता है as you get older, that 1% of people make all the money in the world, पूरी दुनिया की success उनको प्राप्त होती है, and then 99% of people strive for success, उनकी इच्छा है success मिले, but unfortunately the mental training simply isn't good enough. So take IPL cricket. I think Virat Kohli, Dhoni and Rohit Sharma alone will make as much money. तीनों को I think 15 करोड़ के आसपास मिलता होगा. Right? The 3 top cricketers will make as much as the entire IPL के बाकी Indian cricketers combined. Right? So 3 players will take home more money than the rest of the IPL cricketers combined. Right? IPL में हर टीम के कुछ 50 प्लेयर हैं. So 10 टीम में 500 प्लेयर हैं. फॉरेनर्स हटा दीजिए, फॉरेनर्स होंगे 100, 400 देसी लोग खेल रहे हैं. 3 बंदे will take away more money than the other 397. Right? That's how the real world works. 20 Indian companies today, just 20 Indian companies make 80% of the nation's profits. ठीक है? Just to give you a sense of how chupchap these people operate. You guys are studying in a prestigious university, so let's do a quick pop quiz. Which company today makes the most amount of profit in the country? सबसे ज़्यादा profit. HDFC Bank. याद रखिएगा हमेशा, the fellow who makes the most money, उसका नाम आपको पता नहीं होगा. ठीक है? HDFC Bank makes 9% of the nation's profits. One bank, one company, हिंदुस्तान का 9% profit कमाता है. ठीक है? HDFC Banks has created 70x. They've taken shareholders' wealth and compounded it 70x in the last 20 years. हर 3.5 साल, every 3.5 years, the bank doubles in size. HDFC Bank के CEO का नाम
Snigel or something. Earlier it was Aditya Puri.
हाँ, वो बहुत पुराने ज़माने में थे. Right? HDFC Bank का CEO का नाम, इंडिया का सबसे पावरफुल CEO का नाम है शशि जगदीशन. Even if I showed you a picture of शशि जगदीशन, you wouldn't recognize him. ठीक है? और एक एग्जाम्पल देते हैं. इंडिया में एक कंपनी है जिसने सबसे ज़्यादा पैसा बना के दिया है इन योर एंड माई लाइफ टाइम. 10 गुना 10 साल में, 100 गुना 20 साल में, 1000 गुना 30 साल में, एंड 24,000 गुना 40 साल में. 24,000x, द ग्रेटेस्ट कंपाउंडर इन इंडियन हिस्ट्री. कंपनी का नाम क्या है?
एशियन पेंट.
हाँ जी, एशियन पेंट्स. अच्छा, एशियन पेंट्स हर 3.5 साल प्रॉफिट डबल करता है. लास्ट 3.5 साल में भी किया है. एशियन पेंट्स के CEO का नाम अमित सिंगले. So, once again, same point. The people who matter in India, every single one of them, neither will you know their name, nor even if they walked in, you wouldn't recognize. All the lallu, shallu, pallu, the looters and the crooks, उनका नाम आपको, not just आपको, पूरे आबादी को पता होगा, right? Because they want you to know their names. The fellows who are making serious money, the reason I called the book Unusual Billionaires, the fellows who are making serious money, they don't want you to know their name, right? And they're not in the public limelight. They make sure they're never on TV. They're never seen in a party. They just sit at home and mint billions of dollars, right? So ये बहुत interesting trait है इंडिया में. जो कमाता है वो दिखता नहीं है, जो दिखता है वो कमाता नहीं है. Unfortunately, life lessons most people take are from the fellows who are visible but useless. The fellows who are useful, who are changing the country, are completely invisible. Right? So big lesson for us there, right? build your mind, build your thinking skill sets, right? And carry on building skill sets that the rest of the world can't even see or understand.
How do you build those?
So part of it is reading, but part of it is learn to identify very early on in life who I should be hanging out with and who are the people I should avoid, right? Because the friends you choose, the company you choose will have a massive effect on your life. If you choose to hang out with useless people, you can guess uska natija kya hoga. And you choose to hang out with other people who are sharp, driven, thinking, reading, right? Building a powerful mind, you can imagine the impact it will have on you, right? Now, at one level, all the die is already cast, right? काफी हद तक आपका काम हो चुका है, right? If you are of the sort who likes thinking, who likes reading, who likes pushing himself or herself, आप already right संगत में hang out कर रहे हो, right? But it's never too late to even push yourself even harder, right? So if you ask me about my college days, right, back then my college days was just relentless pushing. कितना खींच सकते हो दिमाग को खींचो, right? And find other people who are pushing their brains, because most people in life don't like pushing. No, अगर हम gym की बात करें, at my age, going to the gym is a real chore. So I somehow have to drag myself to the gym. At your stage in life, going to a gym is easier. Your bodies are younger, fitter, but your stage in life, you have to go to the mind gym every day. Go to the mind gym every day and pound your mind to learn new things. The more of that you do here, the more you'll pull away from 99% of your peer group, right? And as we were discussing, exam की बात नहीं है. Exam performance at one level is irrelevant. What matters is how much are you training your mind to become an Anil Rai Gupta, a Sashi Jagdishan, right? An Amit Single or a Rajiv Jain, right? So it's very interesting. All of India's superstar CEOs, all of them are completely unknown to the public, right? And आपके संग भी वो होगा. The real stars amongst you will actually not be known in campus. The real star होगा 10 साल बाद, 20 साल बाद आपको खबर आएगी, मेरे को खबर आएगी कि नोबेल प्राइज विनर लक्ष्य से निकला है. And वो real star अपने आप को reveal नहीं करेगा, right? And in a way, your skill will be, can you figure out amongst your peer group who are the people that you should spend maximum time with and who are the people you can learn the most from, right? We do that from an early age. By the time you get to my stage in life, you'll have an incredibly razor sharp judgment. किसको back करना है, किसको नहीं करना, किसके संगत में रहना है, किसके संगत में नहीं रहना. Part of it is shaping your mind through reading, and part of it is shaping your mind by spending time with other very sharp people.
You mentioned that you enjoyed your college life thoroughly. If with all the finance, economics, and geopolitical knowledge you have amassed till date, you're sent back to your college days, what would be your investment strategy?
So the main investment strategy I'll try to teach myself is not to have any sort of emotional loading in investing, right? Many of us come from middle class families where life is spent being very fearful. डर के साथ जिंदगी जी जाती है. पढ़ाई करो क्यों? जिससे नंबर आए. क्यों नंबर आए? जिससे जॉब मिले, राइट? क्यों जॉब चाहिए? क्यों नहीं? जॉब के बिना तो बर्बाद हो जाऊंगा, राइट? सो जो फियर क्वेश्चन की लोडिंग होती है लाइफ में, दैट्स वेरी हाई इन इंडिया, राइट? वी आर अ वेरी कंजर्वेटिव सोसाइटी. वी आर कंजर्वेटिव इन आवर सोशल हैबिट्स, वी आर कंजर्वेटिव इन आवर फाइनेंशियल थिंकिंग, एंड दैट क्रिएट्स रियल चैलेंजेस फॉर यू इन अ वर्ल्ड वेयर अपॉर्चुनिटीज आर लिमिटलेस, राइट? सो निवेश के क्षेत्र में, राइट, मैं टिल 6 years ago, like everybody else, I used to think पोर्टफोलियो में 30-40 स्टॉक होने चाहिए, राइट? एंड सस्ता लेना चाहिए, एंड ब्लू चिप तो लेना चाहिए, राइट, जो बाकी लोग ले रहे हैं, राइट? इन माई कॉलेज डेज आई यूज्ड टू थिंक लाइक दैट. आई यूज्ड टू थिंक अबाउट डाइवर्सिफिकेशन. शिकागो स्कूल ने क्या पढ़ाया है? पोर्टफोलियो डाइवर्सिफिकेशन, बीटा, शार्प रेशियो, राइट? As I grew older, I realized most of these things are useless in practical investing, right? So the construct that you see in coffee can investing, or say even more clearly in diamonds in the dust, जो diamonds in the dust पे construct है कि 14-15 stock enough है, focus on quality rather than भाव भगवान and सस्ता, right? And focus on buying the absolute best rather than worrying about diversification, right? So if I could rebuild my 18-year persona, it would be to say shed conservatism, shed fear, shed innovations, and focus on what your brain tells you is absolutely the best thing to do in life. And वो करते नहीं हो until very recently. I used to spend too much time reading other people's books, being worried about negative consequences, adverse consequences, rather than focusing on the positive aspects, right? वो flip, your generation I'm sure is far more positive than we were, and my kids' generation will be more positive than I was. But the less you worry about downside consequences, right? I think I just asked some of you, right? I asked you, चिंता नहीं है कि नंबर नहीं आएंगे, आपने बोला नहीं मैं स्मार्ट हूँ, जॉब मिल जाएगी. I wish I was like that. I wish I was like you when I was 18. ठीक है, तो thank you very much for hosting me. Good to see all of you. Wishing you guys the best with your careers. You're studying in a fabulous place. Make the most of it. And keep growing, keep learning, and make this country proud. Thank you.